Yo, Cowboys Nation, buckle up because what we're about to talk about is absolutely monumental. Tyreek Hill, the speedster, the game changer, the electrifying wide receiver, has officially become the biggest signing in Dallas Cowboys history. This isn't just a routine free agent pickup. This is a seismic event that's going to ripple through the NFL and the Cowboys franchise for years to come. Think about the legacy of this franchise, the legendary quarterbacks, the iconic players, the Super Bowl runs, and now they've brought in a talent that might be the fastest, most explosive playmaker the league has ever seen. Tyreek Hill's move to Dallas marks a new chapter in the team's storied history, one that is buzzing with hope, excitement, and sky-high expectations. For those who have been following the NFL for a while, you already know who Tyreek Hill is. But if you're new to this, let me paint a picture for you. Tyreek Hill is not just a wide receiver, he's a living highlight reel. Nicknamed Cheetah for his lightning-fast speed, Hill has been a nightmare for defenses ever since he entered the league. Drafted in the 5th round back in 2016 by the Kansas City Chiefs, he quickly proved that draft position doesn't always dictate impact. Over the years, Hill became one of the most feared offensive weapons in the NFL. Whether it's taking the ball, the distance on punt returns, or blazing downfield for deep receptions, Hill's speed and agility are absolutely unmatched. He's the kind of player who can turn a routine play into a highlight reel touchdown in the blink of an eye. Now, the fact that the Cowboys signed him to what is reportedly a 5-year, $120 million deal with $72 million guaranteed tells you everything you need to know about how much they value him. This is not just the biggest free agent signing in Cowboys history by contract size, but arguably the most significant because it represents a real commitment to reshaping the offense around a generational talent. The Cowboys haven't always been aggressive in free agency, but this move screams ambition. They're not just building a playoff team, they're building a Super Bowl contender. The kind of player like Hill doesn't come along often, and Dallas is betting big that he'll be the catalyst that finally pushes them over the edge. What does this mean for the Cowboys' offense? Well, it's a game changer. The Cowboys already have a solid core: Prescott at quarterback, CeeDee Lamb as a rising star at wide receiver, and Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield. But adding Tyreek Hill brings a new dynamic that's hard to quantify. Hill stretches the field like few players can. His speed forces defenses to keep safeties deep, which in turn opens up the underneath routes for Lamb, Prescott's favorite targets, and the tight ends. Imagine the kind of plays you can run when the defense is constantly worried about Hill blowing past everyone on a vertical route. It's a nightmare for defensive coordinators and a dream for offensive coordinators. Prescott now has arguably the fastest wide receiver in the NFL in his arsenal. This changes the entire offensive playbook. Prescott has always been a smart, accurate quarterback, but with Hill, he can take more shots downfield without as much risk. Hill's ability to create yards after the catch also means Prescott doesn't need to put the ball perfectly every time. Hill's speed and elusiveness give him a chance to turn even an average throw into a big play. This should lead to more explosive plays, more touchdowns, and ultimately more wins for the Cowboys. Off the field, Hill brings a winning mentality and work ethic that Dallas desperately needs. He's known as a fierce competitor and a relentless worker. Despite his blazing speed, Hill's success isn't just natural talent. It's his commitment to training, film study, and his hunger to win. That kind of mindset can be contagious in a locker room. For a Cowboys team that's hungry for a championship and trying to shake the stigma of falling short in the playoffs, Hill's presence could be a massive boost to the team culture. The fan reaction to this signing has been electric. Social media exploded the moment the news dropped, with Cowboys fans everywhere celebrating, making memes, and speculating on what this means for the upcoming season. And it's not just fans, analysts, former players, and NFL insiders have weighed in, calling this one of the most impactful free agent signings in recent memory. The excitement is palpable because Tyreek Hill isn't just good, he's a transformational player, and Dallas is finally signaling to the league that they're serious about contending. Looking back at Cowboys history, this signing stands out even more. The franchise has had some legendary wide receivers, no doubt Michael Irvin, Dez Bryant, and even Jason Witten, who is technically a tight end, but a massive offensive weapon, but none of those signings or draft picks carried this kind of explosive potential or this level of game-breaking speed. This is different. Hill's unique skill set forces defenses to change how they approach the Cowboys every single snap. His speed on the field literally changes the geometry of the game. Of course, with every major signing come questions and challenges. Integrating a superstar like Hill into an already established offense requires adjustments. Chemistry on and off the field will be crucial. The Cowboys coaching staff will need to design schemes that maximize Hill's talents while maintaining balance. There's also the business side of things. The Cowboys will have to carefully manage the salary cap and roster construction to keep this team competitive long-term. And as with any athlete, health is always a concern. Hill has been durable for the most part, but the physical demands of the NFL and the Cowboys' aspirations mean he'll need to stay at peak condition to deliver consistently. Comparing Hill's signing to other major free agent moves in Cowboys history puts this into perspective. Past free agent acquisitions have sometimes made a splash, but rarely reshaped the team's identity as dramatically as this one. It's a new era for Dallas, one that blends star power with strategic planning and a clear goal: winning a Super Bowl. This deal is a bold statement from the front office and ownership that they are not content with just making the playoffs. They want to dominate the league. Looking at the bigger picture, Hill's signing impacts not just the Cowboys, but the entire NFC East and the NFL landscape. Division rivals like the Eagles, Giants, and Commanders now have to prepare for an offense that can literally outrun anyone on the field. This raises the competitive bar and will likely lead to some high-stakes matchups that we'll all be watching closely. Beyond the division, teams across the league will be taking note of the Cowboys' boldness and the potential matchup problems Hill creates. And if you're wondering what's next for the Cowboys, the excitement doesn't end here. Training camp and preseason games will give us the first glimpses of how Hill fits in with the rest of the offense. Fans will be eagerly watching every snap, every route, every touchdown, eager to see just how fast and dangerous the Cowboys' offense becomes with Hill on the field. Coaches will be fine-tuning plays, players will be building chemistry, and the anticipation for the regular season will build to a fever pitch. So, Cowboys fans, it's time to get hyped. Tyreek Hill's signing is more than just a headline. It's a promise of what could be. A faster, more explosive offense. A team that's ready to compete at the highest level, and a fan base finally seeing the kind of bold moves that signal a true championship mindset. Whether you're watching from Texas or across the country, this moment is huge. And if you ask me, the season ahead with Tyreek Hill on the Cowboys is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in franchise history. If you're as fired up as I am, drop your thoughts below. What plays are you most excited to see? How do you think Hill will change the dynamic with Doc and CD? And most importantly, how far do you think this team can go with a guy like Cheetah blazing down the field in the star on his helmet? This is a signing that will be talked about for years, so let's get the conversation going. All right, Cowboys Nation, thanks for riding with me through this deep dive into the biggest signing in Dallas Cowboys history. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more in-depth Cowboys and NFL coverage, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. Until next time, keep the faith, stay loud, and let's chase that Super Bowl with the speed and fire of Tyreek Hill lighting up the gridiron. See you soon.